Just went to swimming class with Amelie. Now I'm walking to the bus stop just like I did last time. Except that today I think I'm running late for the bus because I had to go to the toilet after having a shower. And also my shower now takes a bit longer because I need to make sure I wash my hair properly and all that kind of stuff. Although today was the day that I washed my hair without the purple shampoo, just with the normal shampoo. But still, you just need to wash it because I had coconut oil all over it to make sure that the chlorine doesn't go. It's complicated. The main problem is that I needed to go to the toilet. That's what made me late. The reason I'm not driving is because tonight we have a special event at church and it's easy if Shelly drives there and I just meet her there, catch a train or bus or something. It's Valentine's Day today and I need to talk about Valentine's Day. And because I love movies, I think it's appropriate that I talk about one of my favorite romantic comedies ever. Okay, my favorite romantic movie is Amelie, and this is my second favorite. It's called True Romance. Okay, maybe it's not really a comedy. It depends what kind of comedy you like. I laugh at that movie, but most people probably won't. True Romance is a movie written by Quentin Tarantino, and you might be thinking, if you know Quentin Tarantino, if you know who I'm talking about, really? He wrote a romantic movie? The movie's called True Romance. Gosh, I love that movie so much. It's not like your conventional romantic movie, just like Amelie is not your conventional romantic movie. But the thing about True Romance is like it's different than most romantic movies, because most romantic movies are just so fake. They will never happen. But True Romance, as the name says, it feels like a true story. Just a quick disclaimer, True Romance is rated in Australia R, which means you need to be 18 to watch it. So for some of you, you probably shouldn't watch it until a few years later. It's rated R because of how violent it is. I mean, it was written by Quentin Tarantino. Even though he didn't direct it, it's very evident that he wrote that movie. It is so violent that the second time I watched it, I was surprised. I forgot some of the scenes and it was like, oh wow, this is actually pretty violent. But here's why I think it's one of the greatest romantic movies of all time, and I'm gonna do that without spoiling it for you. I'm just gonna talk a bit about the beginning, so don't worry, no spoilers. The story is about this guy who's very lonely, and it's his birthday and he has nothing to do. So his friends, or one of his friends, I don't remember, hire a prostitute to pretend to like him and like want to go out with him on his birthday. You see why this movie is like inappropriate, but come on, just wait a second. And they fall in love and he wants to escape with her, but she's afraid of going to where she used to live because her pimp is there and her things are there. So he goes there to get her things, and hell breaks loose for various reasons that I'm not gonna tell you because I don't want to spoil the movie for you. And one of the reasons I like it so much and why I think it's so real and why I think it's so much about love and romance is because he sacrifices so much because he loves, like, that's, you wouldn't do that if you didn't love someone. I must stop because this car's coming. Only love can make people do crazy things like that. And a few days ago I was watching a Valentine's video by H3H3 Productions where Ethan and Ela talk about how they started living together and just being together, and that video was like so real and so emotional. He was basically talking about how they became drug dealers because he didn't want to lose her, because he wanted to, I know it's insane, like it's the same thing that I'm talking about, because he didn't want her to go back to Israel to her parents because he really loved her and they didn't have any money. And you need to watch the video to understand, to fully understand the story and how insane it is. I for one find fascinating that YouTubers like H3H3 Productions, who are very non-politically correct, they don't care about political correctness, which I also don't care, they can be more real than all those fake Disney-like YouTubers who just are so, you know, protected and, oh no, but we can't offend this, we can't offend that. That's why I like True Romance so much, because it's a real story about love and not this fabricated Hollywood crap that would never happen in someone's life. Another movie that talks about a real love story is The Passion of Christ, which is also about either a very crazy man who came and died on a cross because of love, or he's the Son of God who came and died on the cross because of love. You probably already know that I'm a Christian and I know exactly what I believe between these two options. But the point is that life is not a Disney story, and love and romance in real life looks very different than most of these romantic movies out there. You might be confused at what exactly just happened here, what the heck I was doing. Oh, this is a great example of how relationships are not fairy tales, okay? Just today, our washing machine flooded. Well, it didn't really, but it's badly designed. The pipe goes into that sink, and if the sink, the drain is closed, it just overflows and floods. It's the second time it happens in 2 weeks. I didn't want to clean this. It's the last thing I wanted to do when I got home today. It's probably the reason why I laid down on the couch for 45 minutes, because I didn't want to get up and do this. But to love someone means sometimes to compromise and to do things you don't really want to do. And just today we had an interesting conversation about whose fault was it that it flooded again. These are things that happens when you are in a relationship. And I've been talking about romance, but it's more than romance, it's about love. Love doesn't necessarily mean romantic love. One of my favorite books of all times is this book by C.S. Lewis called The Four Loves. And in this book, he's talking about 4 different Greek words for love. There's eros, which is the romantic love, but there's also love between friends and love between familiar people, between your family. And there's also another type of love that people often translate to charity, because it's a love that is selfless. You don't expect anything in return. Great book, strongly recommended. In fact, just by talking about it, I feel like reading it again, except that I'm reading another book right now. Maybe after that, in like 2.5 years when I finish it. I'm terrible with reading books, I'm just so bad. I wish I had more time. Before I go, let me leave you with a few points regarding this topic of love. Number 1, as I said before, there's no such thing as a fairy tale relationship. If anyone tells you there is, it's a lie. Don't believe them. That doesn't exist. It will never happen. Believe at your own risk. You'll know one day that I was right. Also, you'll never find someone that will solve all your problems and it will be the perfect match. A romantic relationship, and maybe even most relationships in general, is about making the other person better. It's about working together for the both of you to be better at the end. It's not about sucking the other person's life for your own benefit. That's not how it works. Love is not a feeling. I mean, you can feel love, but love is much more than a feeling. Love is action. Love is a choice. It's very easy. I mean, maybe not that easy, but it's easier to say I love you than to actually do things that show that you actually love someone. It's easy to say, oh, I love all these orphans in India or Africa. It's not easy for you to get your own money and donate to a charity that is down there on the ground, helping them. And finally, love is a choice. Even when you don't feel like it, if you love someone, you will choose to love them, even when things are not so good. It's not every day that I get home and I'm like super happy and motivated and I feel like lovey Shelly, but it's every day that I choose to love her, even when I don't feel 100% like it. That's what love really is. It's to continually choosing to putting that person first, or to just sacrificing for that person, even when life doesn't feel like a fairy tale, because to be honest, you probably never will. And that's why I started this video to talk about the movie True Love. Because even though it's not a fairy, it's the opposite of a fairy tale. The characters in that movie have so much love for each other because of the insane things they did for each other. And that's why I love so much the video that Ethan and Hila did talking about their beginning of their relationship. Because even though I don't condone and don't agree with dealing drugs, obviously, and also don't condone and don't agree with all the violent things that happen in True Love, it's quite entertaining and I love that movie though. I feel like there's more genuine, real, true love in a movie that is the opposite of a romantic movie than there is in a romantic fairy tale crappy movie. And here ends my rant slash review of a movie slash me talking about love on Valentine's Day. Hope you guys enjoyed. Happy Valentine's Day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
My favorite romantic movie is Flubber.
The Princess Bride.
Yes!
That's the first one that came to mind.